What's going on, everyone? Just wanted to make a little video for you guys today, reviewing my new Yo-Yo Factory 888. This is the 2023 release of the 888. So, for those of you that have been yo-yoing around the 2010s or so, might have heard of this yo-yo. It's pretty popular. Or was a pretty popular yo-yo at the time. Now, there's a lot of other yo-yos out there that perform a lot better than this. Not any that I would have, but this was just like kind of like an older kind of design. Has like this organic kind of rounded shape to it. And I got this on Yo-Yo Factory on their website for $60. So at the time, I remember the 888 was about $100 to $120. So they dropped the price down nearly half the price. So can't complain there. And I had recently bought, this was my first ever 888. This one here is the same 2023, just different color. Because I had recently got back into the hobby, and I was like, why not just buy myself an 888 finally, because I never had one as a kid. So after I bought this one, I had to see how an older 888 played. This is the 888X. I got lucky enough to buy one of these brand new in the box from this one seller on Yo-Yo expert forums. So if you guys are ever looking for a specific yo-yo, sometimes you can search up your yo-yo, and sometimes people are selling from their collection. So just something, if you didn't know, something I found out recently. But anyway, I'll go ahead and compare them here and there throughout the video. But yeah, this is my newest one, and I got two because this one here I had basically just dinged on accident, and you can't really see it on the camera, but it's pretty hard to see, but I kind of buffed it out right there, and it was kind of like a sharp ding, so I was able to kind of polish it off with, like, sand it down with a light grit sandpaper. And it's hard to see, you gotta kind of look closely at it, and the oil still plays fine. So first impressions of the 888 was that it was very small right out of the box compared to a lot of other yo-yos I played with. Definitely an undersized yo-yo, but for its small size, it actually has a decent amount of weight and stability, and overall just weight distribution. It's nicely rim weighted, so well, in my opinion, it's pretty stable for its size. We can go ahead and compare this to another Yo-Yo Factory metal yo-yo. This is the Shutter. Different shape, a little wider than the 888, or a lot wider actually, but this is like a $45 yo-yo. Pretty sure you guys have seen the Shutter. Had this one since like 2016, I want to say. But yeah, this was like one of the last yo-yos I ever bought when I stopped yo-yoing, and I just saw my collection just sitting down in my little box, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start yo-yoing again. And yeah, I've just been kind of going a little crazy buying yo-yos back to back. Kind of addicting, but yeah, I got a whole new one here. We'll try to take a closer look at this thing. It has basically its original kind of logo, the 888 logo and Yo-Yo Factory logo. Comes with these white hub stacks, and they're not as loud. I had cleaned these because for some reason when I pull started this right out of the box, it was kind of wobbly. So after I cleaned them, they got a little bit more quiet and not as wobbly. So I don't know what was up with that, but it pull starts a lot better now, but it's still not as smooth as this one here. So I don't know what that is. And you know, hub stacks are kind of like an old school thing. I don't want to say old school, but just like an older design in yo-yos. You don't see hub stacks a lot on new yo-yos. Nowadays, it's more about like finger spins. So they'll have like a dimple like this here. This is the Magic Yo-Yo Skyva. Very similar to the Shutter in shape. But yeah, it's got that dimple, and people like doing finger spins. You can still technically do finger spins on hub stacks. I don't know how to do them, but you're basically just landing your finger, landing the hub stack on your finger. You got to be a lot more accurate, but it's possible. Comes with a standard size bearing and response pads. Sic, I believe, large center track bearing, and 19mm slim pads. I don't have the specs on this thing for its dimensions or whatever, but all I could really do is just compare it to other yo-yos. But you know, it's a Google search away if you guys really want to see the specs. You can pull start this thing. Yeah, this one has a little bit of vibe. You can kind of hear it, which is a little odd. So I don't know if it's like an axle thing, but still spins long. I don't know how to like really bind it with a hub stack spinning, but yeah, I'm not too good at doing that. But yeah, at the time when I was really into yo-yoing, I really wanted one of these around like 2010 or 11, and at the time, I think this 888X had just came out, and I don't know how true it is, but probably is true that the previous 888s, the 07 to 09 888s, played a lot better than the 888X, and I wouldn't know, but it is probably true. I guess I guess the quality was a little better, and just had a lot more of a stable kind of longer spin kind of feel. I don't know, but you know, those are kind of hard to find these days. To find an original 888, people tend to hold on to those, keep them in their collection. I don't blame them for. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. Nothing special in here, you know. Just got your axle, your response pads, and your bearing. So this one comes with a center track bearing. When I got this one, it just came with a spec bearing, same size, and it also came with like a little one of those skinny little responsive bearings, which I have no use for. But yeah, this one came in like a box, like a premium kind of box. Came with like this little yo-yo holder, so pretty cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and compare these two here. They do have a bit of a difference in when you look inside. You can see here, this one around the, I don't know what you would call this, but like has a small kind of step here versus the 888X. It's much wider, a lot flatter, and not too much of a difference, but you could definitely feel it like when you land the yo-yo on the string, or when the string hits the gap. You can kind of feel it a bit, but it's nothing that really affects the way it plays. Just you kind of just feel the difference. But that's the one thing I would say that is different about these. When you open them up, that's noticeably different. And the gap size looks a little wider on the 888X versus this one here. It's a little bit more narrow, more rounded. You know what I mean? And also too, when I bind this one, it could just be me, but when I use like a skinnier, kind of thinner string, I notice it kind of it doesn't grab as easy on the 888X versus this newer 888. And I'm using Sochi string on this one, Kitty string on this one. They both feel nice. And another thing that's a little different about the two, which I will show you right now. I'm just trying to bind this up real quick so I don't have all this string hanging off. Is I guess the hub stacks kind of like are a little bit more tucked in on the new 888. As you can see, I'm going to tilt them evenly, and you can kind of see how they stick out a lot more on the 888X. So you kind of feel it when you're holding it like this. They're a little bit more tucked in on the newer one. Rims are pretty similar. They still are very tight spacing if you're trying to do like thumb grinds, which are possible. It's just you gotta be a lot more accurate, but you can kind of wedge your thumb in there against the hub stack and the rim, and it'll grind just fine. Same thing with this one. It's about the same, but the only difference is that, yeah, I would say the hub stacks are slightly more tucked in, and you guys could kind of tell they pop out more on the 888X. And I put like these green hub stacks in here from my old grind machine. Another thing I want to say is the grind machine to me was like the budget 888 at the time. This is my original grind machine. I took the hub stacks off of this one. It was kind of like the plastic 888. 888 was like $100, while the grind machine was plastic, and it was like 35 bucks at the time. Fun yo-yo. So like one of my very first yo-yo factory yo-yos, I think it was my very first plastic, and my very first metal had to be the DV888, which played okay. But then I got this grind machine here, bought it with this one from the same seller, from some seller on Yo-Yo Expert forums from Russia. So I was really excited to get these. These are brand new in box. Spent 87 for both of these together. So under 100 bucks for two yo-yos, can't go wrong. And they were yo-yos I always wanted as a kid, so now I have them in my collection. Very similar yo-yos, but you know, the size is about the same. The 888 kind of like fits in the inner rim of the grind machine, just to show you the size difference. The gap, or the width, however, is about the same. But yeah, cool yo-yos, OG yo-yos, you know. What else could I compare this to? I got here, this is a Skyline I got on eBay for 15 bucks. This was a B grade. Has a bit of vibe to it for 15 bucks. I thought that was a steal. So, but apparently the seller had got this on an amazing sale thing, I guess, on Yo-Yo Factory. I guess they do every May or something. But he got it for about 15 bucks, I believe. Didn't come with hub stacks, so I put on some, and plays really well, can't lie. But yeah, very similar in size. You can see the slight difference in shape. This one has a little bit more of a, how can you explain that? Kind of like a V shape, while this one here is a little bit more rounded. I forget the yo-yo shape names, so forgive me for that. But diameter is very similar. I would say this one has a lot less room to do thumb grinds, but it also doesn't wedge as easily in there, but it's still possible to do them. It kind of tilts over a bit. I would say the 888 does a better job at it, because you could see you kind of lock it in like that. Also, finger grinds well too. This one versus the 888X has like a different kind of finish. This one's more of like a matte kind of feel. This one, but it's still smooth. And this one here is a little bit more of like a polished kind of feel. So really just depends what you're looking for. You look at this one here, has a similar feel to the 888X, but I don't know if it's not anodized, probably non-anodized, but this all silver I thought looks pretty dope. This is like my beater 888, and the other two, trying to keep them in good condition without dings. So let's pray that never happens. But I like them both. I mean, I would have to give them both like the same score. Out of 10, I have to say they're both, and this is probably coming from me as a intermediate kind of player, but they're both like a 9 in my opinion. So for some people that might be too high, but for someone that hasn't owned too many like professional yo-yos, like higher end yo-yos, these are like top tier for me so far. But yeah, not too much else to say. I don't know if I really explained everything I want to talk about in this video, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. But yeah, that'll wrap up this review. I didn't see too many reviews on this on this new 888 on YouTube, so thought I'd just make my own. But hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.